Hey everybody, real quick, this episode has some audio and video issues, so bear with us on this one. Gazer's headphones decided to die before and after, and there's some visual and audio hiccups that at the very end will be very funny, so make sure you stay all the way through the video and the podcast on whatever platform you're listening to, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and leave a review, blah, 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 blah. We love you, bye.
It's going to be good. You're insane.
We're safe. Watch this.
And
Sid, who's our guest today?
You lose to Wall.
Our guest today is none other than Dre. We thought we could I don't know how this episode's going to start. I really don't. I don't know what our editor is going to do with all the extra behind the scenes of Gazer's stuff being scuffed a little bit tonight. But I thought I would be clever and Dr. Phil or Chris Hansen Gazer about his cup wins, because I knew no matter what kind of episode we were gonna have like one of those like 30-minute filibusters, because somebody asked for it on Twitter. Somebody asked for a 30-minute filibuster on Gazer's second cup win on Twitter, and I was like, "This is all right, cool. I'm getting Dre."
Yeah, I'm here to deflate the air out of that big old head.
No, we are joined by King Dre Cloud, one of my former locals, one of my good pokey buddies. Dre, how you living, man?
It's been really great, man. I do miss you and a couple of other people over there in the Fresno locals. The free wins, are nice. So I miss those. No, but Tampa's been good. Comfortable. Got settled in here. Got my plushies lined up in the bed now. So gotta fill up that half. So got a lot more buying to do. But yeah, kind of just moving into now that I'm settled and I had a long 3 weeks of nonstop majors. Now I have about a month and a half to just kind of chill, focus on content again. Between moving and then the long string of tournaments, kind of been off my content grind. So good to be here with you guys. Been a while. You guys revived the Gust of Wind not too long ago, so getting to be in one of the first episodes back is really great.
Yeah,
have you guys been?
Second win, man. Second win.
Or third or fourth, or I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Something.
See how long this lasts with all the technical difficulties that I have to go through every week. Now everyone knows behind the scenes. Now I don't know how much is gonna make it in, but no, it's fun to be back. We got some cool stuff planned in the future too. So, but man, I thought I was clever. Damn.
I was on you. That's why I made that tweet earlier.
I thought it was just like a dumb coincidence.
Oh, did I? Honestly, I was all I was like, that's cool. That's so funny that he added me today.
Whatever.
I thought it would stir up a little interest in what's going to be going on tomorrow. So.
Well, tomorrow's Pokemon Day. The time we record this, and I don't want to hang up on it too much tonight, so we'll just talk about it right now. But quick predictions. What do you guys think we're going to see tomorrow?
Go ahead, Dre.
I think we'll probably get the Legend ZA starters.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big thing that everybody wants, and it's been a while since we've gotten the information on it. So we'll probably get like the starters, and probably just a glimpse of like maybe like a little hint of what it's going to be on. I mean, at this point, we all know it's going to be like an ancient telling of like AZ's story or something like that, right?
It's a possibility.
So we'll probably get like some plot points and probably the starters is what I'm guessing. TCG stuff, I really don't know. There's not much to announce because we have everything that we've been waiting for up to this point kind of announced. The missing regionals, we know where in rotation is. We kind of know the next few sets what we're getting. So unless they're gonna announce a new gimmick that we're getting like later this year, but I doubt that.
There's never like TCG stuff. Like what was it? Not last year, but the year before, was that like classic collection or whatever it was, the big, huge, like $400
the briefcase.
The briefcase, yeah, the Seto Kaiba box or whatever. And then I mean, technically they announced Pocket, but that ended up being its own thing, and I'm sure it's already leaked, but there's like an Arceus set coming tomorrow for Pocket.
Right. I mean,
so
we should have like a 30th because 30th anniversary. So there's probably some sort of like celebration thing.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll announce that, like some specialty set that's going to drop for the 30th celebration or whatever.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. And of course, they're going to have all the updates for what is it, Masters EX and Cafe Remix that nobody plays, and
Nobody plays.
all those
I want to
mobile
know.
games.
Why is playing them?
I want to know. I want to know the brave souls that are still carrying on Masters EX.
Somebody's playing them, man.
They're
No, I
spending, they
think
spend money. They spend big money.
Crazy.
no, I think you have a good point with maybe showing the starters. I went too far. And I was like, they're not going to show the evolution yet, but maybe they just show the starters, and then our minds wander to how will they mega evolve? How will they look? You know, stuff like that. What's the regional variants going to look like? So yeah, they might show the starters. You're right about that.
Mm-hmm.
TCG news, I doubt anything. Probably not much. I see some pocket news coming on the way. I think that happens.
It's already leaked.
I see. Yeah,
they accidentally like tweeted.
They posted it early on Instagram or something like that. It got leaked.
They're like, whoops.
Yeah.
But no, I see maybe another Pokemon spinoff, some type of game coming out. Maybe it's not Sleep, maybe it's something different. Maybe it's like a horror genre game, like a survival game or something.
I don't know.
Pokemon Survive? No, it's not that.
Maybe they bring back Pokken.
Ooh, imagine.
I mean, that was fun, but it didn't last long.
That'd be like if I had like a guaranteed spot, like I'm pretty close to being almost locked up for Worlds, and I could like play Pokken for like NAIC. That would be pretty cool.
And then we'll probably get some news about some new character coming to Unite.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, there's always a few. There's always a few of them.
Yeah, and then will that be it? That might be it.
Yeah,
maybe they'll leak some type of probably not DLC because we have Legends coming out soon. I don't know. I see something along this line like some type of Pokemon leaked out, revealed. Kind of like think of when Togepi was shown in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
Something like, future, like, hey, down the line, look at this guy. Like, I think last year they showed us Terapagos, right?
Would have been 2 years ago.
Was that 2 years ago?
Or
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. I think, maybe it was 2 years. I think they showed us Terapagos. So
also,
like, hey,
a lot of that stuff, too, like, typically gets held for, like, Worlds or whatever, too.
Yeah,
and, like,
they'll probably hold off on a lot of that stuff for Worlds.
All the actual TCG announcements or whatever, like when they announced like the battle partners or whatever, they did that, like the trainers Pokemon.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't see a whole lot of TCG news. I just see news on Legends. I see maybe some type of Pokemon leak, like, hey, look at this little guy, look at him, check him out. That's all we have. And then some new spinoff, and then some new character for Unite. That's all I see.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing spectacular.
Yeah, I don't see them doing much else than that.
Well, so who knows? We could be wrong, but this technically is going to come out after Pokemon Day has already happened. So in the comments, tell us how stupid we are. Whatever.
Yep. How big we whiffed.
Yeah. How wrong we were. If we were right, you owe us $1 million.
Right.
So you link in the description. Pay in full. I'll take Venmo,
yeah, these
Cash App,
predictions
PayPal.
go worse than a student's attempt to surprise me. So we'll see.
I thought it was going to be funny. Whatever, man.
No.
But
I smart.
The ultimate reason, other than, I guess, to humble Gazer, is why I asked Dre to come on to talk about the results of EUIC. And that'll be the meat and potatoes of this episode. But before we do before we talk about EUIC, we got to do... It's been a long time since we've done this, since we've been off. It's time we bring back the 6 prize turn. I know technically Dre has had one before. But it's been
a while though.
It's been so long.
It's been a while.
And now that you live on the East Coast,
yeah,
the East Coast, yes.
No,
the East Coast.
I don't know. Well, you know what? All right, that's my first question. Just spit out whatever answer as fast as you can. I'm gonna ask you 3. He's gonna ask you 3. We're gonna take turns. Easy peasy. So number 1, now that you've been on the East Coast for a little bit, what do you prefer, East Coast or West Coast?
Oh, it's always gonna be West Coast, man. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's not. It's the humidity on the East Coast is horrid.
I don't have that problem where I live in Pennsylvania, so that's a South problem.
So the humidity sucks. Y'all don't get the sunsets that we do in California. That's the thing. My drive home at the end of the day, have a bad day, but man, if I'm driving and I'm hitting the freeway, seeing that orange, purple sunset in California, you don't get that out here.
Not yet. Wait more towards summertime. That might change a little bit for you.
Okay, that's fair enough. I've only been here since November, so
yeah, it's winter. That'll change a little bit. All right, Gazer, ask away.
On me. Okay. What's been the hardest thing about your grind this season, TCG wise?
I've had a lot of changes. I think it going through, I mean, obviously the move was big. People that know me a little more personally, I went through like changes in a relationship. Um, so like went through a very not so smooth exit of my last relationship. Um, and then from there, it transitioned to me having to find somewhere temporary to leave and live, and then from there, being with the person that I love and I'm with now, and then moving across the country to be with them, and then setting roots here, and then trying to do that while simultaneously juggling, trying to coach and do content and prep for majors. It's been pretty tough. Luckily, kind of just I feel like my preparation hasn't been at the level it's been in my first 2 seasons, and that's kind of why this season hasn't been as strong as the last two. But I've been getting carried by pure skill that I've developed. That I'm still like in the top 150. I think I'm like still in the top 100. Last I checked, I was like 77th. I maxed out my cups, almost maxed out my challenges. I have like a top 64, a top 256, like two top 256s. So I still have plenty of majors to fill. I mean, we were more than halfway through the season now. I still have Atlanta, Milwaukee, Portland, and NAIC. 4 majors to fill 2 slots in my BFL. And I'm sitting pretty at like almost 6, like 591. If I want to go to locals and clean up my 3 second places, I'll be at an even 600 to max out locals. So I think being at that 600 range and only needing really 50 to 100 points realistically to lock up worlds for this year, and I mean, we're not really concerned about if I can get to worlds. Right now is like I want to have like a really strong showing now that I have settled. So yeah, that's definitely the toughest part though. It's just been so much transition and then travel and trying to juggle all that at once. So I think this is probably the most distracted I've been, and I kind of have used this to look at the bright side, right? I mean, I'm still in the meat of things. I'm still like in the upper half of things, and I haven't had like the prep I usually do. So if I can do that, going into this next season when I'm fully settled and I can really, really lock in, hopefully that translates to even, better placements.
Just give it
lock
time.
in, boy. You gotta lock in.
Coming from the 2-cup chump over here.
I'm locked in right now, baby.
I can't even count how
baby.
many cups I've won in the past 2.5 years. I've won so many. I've been like selling my mats because I have like 3 counts of the same ones.
We get it, Dre. You're good. We understand.
I'm just saying.
Let me have this. Let me have this.
You've gone to well over 100 cups.
No.
Yes.
100
over 2 years. Over 2 years, and Fresno has like now 8 stores that have cups, and they've had
first
no
cup
less
I went
than
to was
6.
When I top 8 at Crazy Squirrel and Enders back to back, and that was like
we've had cups for
what,
about
April?
2 years.
April 2023. So it's almost 2 years.
You've been playing almost as long because you came in about the same time that I started. You probably only came in. I
didn't do any majors. I didn't do any cups.
Cups weren't even a thing.
They weren't there yet. But you went to Salt Lake City. You went.
But those don't count as my cups.
To some other place. I didn't go anywhere.
We're just talking about.
I'm saying you were farming. You're getting the experience. You're getting the EXP. It's like when Mario hits a little mushroom block and he gets the mushroom. You're like getting bigger.
Oh, you've been playing since before COVID.
Yeah, but that was just online. Like just hanging out with the boys.
I didn't. Anyways, you've gone to about 100 cups. You can't tell me it's been about 100.
Subin, take over the rest of the 6 prize turn. I gotta look this up.
All right, second question. I know you already said that you prefer the West Coast still, but give me like 2 things about the East Coast that you've discovered or something that was new for you that you've appreciated.
Number 1, best part of the East Coast, Publix chicken sandwiches, bro. The pub subs, so good.
I don't have that here. So I guess that's
Dude.
like a Florida thing. So
It's a southern thing, I think, but dude, it's so good. Like they get the chicken tenders, and the chicken tenders are cooked really well. They chop them up and they toss them in like whatever you want, buffalo, or I like the honey hot, and they toast they toast it kind of like Subway style, and like but
okay.
the rolls they use, even the bread is so good, and it's just like bro, it hits, it's so good.
Have you
So
tried?
Goldberg's number one.
Have you tried like Wawa yet?
I walked in, did not like the way it looked, and I
Oh.
walked out. I didn't even give Wawa a chance, honestly. I'm just not really a big gas station food person either.
So I don't have Wawa. I have Sheetz, and like Pennsylvania's like the battle state between the two. And then now Wawa is starting to open up into Ohio. I love Sheetz. If you see a Sheetz,
You love Sheets.
I promise you do the app sampler. You're gonna eat some fried stuff, whatever. But get the mozzarella sticks, the mac and cheese bites, and the Wisconsin cheese curds with the jalapeno ranch, and you'll be like, why is this from a gas station? Why is this so good?
The second best thing about being on the East Coast is being with my fiance.
Should that be number one?
And it should be number one, but when I thought about it,
bro.
when I thought about it, bro, I was like, yeah, it probably the other answer is her, but like, she could come to the West Coast theoretically. We can't get Publix to the West Coast.
Okay, all right, Gazer. Do you have a question, or do I need to lead the way? Are you too busy looking up League Cups?
I'm still counting. Go ahead.
All right.
I'm still counting.
All right. Coming out of EUIC and leading into rotation, what archetype or new card are you most excited for from Journey Together or the next set beyond?
I think for Alligator and like the Tord Terra box, kind of like the decks that I'm really interested in and playing. I was really hyped about Zacian the Hops deck, but it's not panning out in Japan. It's not having even in city leagues. It's not really doing well. Like it's a huge, and it's unfortunate that it's not even just Hops. It's like all of the trainer cards that we've got so far just don't seem to be. I think
Iono's done the best so far, hasn't it?
But it ends done best. It actually got top 16 at Fukuoka.
Oh, you're right. I've seen Iono's list with Raging Bolt, but yeah, you're right. Ends list, yeah.
Like that's the only way these trainer cards are gonna get used. It's like I've seen Hops, the Wool being put in like Arch decks, and I've seen, we saw the Lilies, Clefairy being put into the Tord box, Terra box, the Iono and the Raging Bolt and stuff. So it's like it sucks that these aren't like standalone decks like we thought they were gonna be, because like none of them really seem that powerful. But even the ends, like top 16 is like kind of like it's like on the low end. It almost didn't get into it, like bubbled into top 16. So it's like. They're not as powerful. Like we thought Hops was going to be dominant. Like, you look at those cards, we're like, dude, it's going to be broken. It's probably going to be like half a top 8. And it's just nowhere to be found. So I'm probably more leaning towards just like the Terra box, and like for Alligators is a lot of fun. Seems like now that we don't have Canceling Cologne, that wall and control decks are going to kind of fire up and take over the meta, it seems.
Yeah, Farigarath, Melodic, Cornerstone. Yeah, it's already annoying.
Cornerstone is scary.
Mm-hmm.
So many good Pokemon have abilities. Cornerstone is scary.
And like they can't even wall you back with Mimikyu, because Cornerstone can just attack through Mimikyu anyway. So like it doesn't matter. There's nothing like a normal deck can tech to anti-tech it. Like it.
Yeah, you just gotta Gator Trap it. You gotta Gator Trap something.
Yeah, you have to just be able to like play some sort of single prize line, and there's like 2 decks that really can.
Yeah, you gotta, with the Gator, you just grab like a Teal Mask and Big Bite, and then get your Monkey set up and start stacking damage on the Cornerstone.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's really what you do. Yeah.
All right, Gazer, do you have a question now?
I do.
Okay.
It's below 100, but how many cups do you think I've participated in the last 2 years?
Has to be somewhere around 80. You do the math. We have 6 stores, 6 to 8 stores in Fresno. You can go, and they each have a cup every quarter. and then you've gone to not too many out of town ones. So I would say you at least every quarter you're hitting at least 10.
I was assuming 50. I was incorrect. It's actually 49. I've only gone to 49.
Oh, 49. What is
49.
this? The Price is Right, lowest without going over. Get out of here, dude.
That was my question to you. There, your question now.
That's 10. I think that's what's 6 now.
Is that 6? There we go. We did it. 6 price turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You took all 6 prizes. You did it.
I think you're short one, Gazer, but it's fine.
Yeah. Red or blue?
Obviously.
Oh,
red.
come on. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Okay, or green, I guess, if you want to count.
It's still red.
It's fine. I like blue.
It's okay. You're still my friend.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too, man.
All right. Thank you for indulging us and whatnot. So let's move in. EUIC results. Do we want to talk about the finals first, clearly? Because just that was...
What finals?
Yeah. Right?
What finals?
I'm so glad that I was actually on a flight when that happened.
Oh, man.
I was on my way back home, and yeah, I had like the cheapy Wi-Fi, like the $4 one, so I could like text my fiance while I'm in the plane. And yeah, she's just updating me. She's like, "Well, Natalie got donked game 1." I'm like, "Yep, sounds right." Oh, Natalie got the 5 price turn because she actually got set up. I'm like, "Yeah, sounds right." Oh, game 3 she got donked. I'm like, "Yeah, that sucks."
That sounds right.
That sounds right.
Everything's
like,
correct.
Yeah,
with
the turn 0 donk, basically, too. Like,
yeah, I didn't even get to play. Game 1 is unfortunate because I watched it back and she just like dead drew.
Yeah,
right?
it was Fez draw pass, basically.
Yeah, then the turn 0 donk, like that's Brew Bonnet and that Petrant.
That was the worst one.
So being in the same meta is pretty awful. So
And
when
those aren't
Guru,
going anywhere.
Well, the Oran Guru is kind of a big thing.
That's the enabler.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, the Oran Guru grabs Sealstone, which is like, hey, grab any card, and then you have the you can grab the Ancient Booster Capsule. So
yeah.
without the Sealstone and without the Oran Guru to grab that, it's like you're kind of relying. You're not going to get on turn 0 because you can't play a supporter. And turn 2 it's still gonna be a little difficult because you have to get Arvin. And Arvin can get you Trolley and the booster capsule, but then you still need to get. Well, no, I think that's all you need, right? As long as you get Trolley down, you can get everybody down. So really, all you need is Arvin.
Yeah, you could draw into the stuff. You could play like Squawks and Carmines and try to do it. Turn 1. It's like Stupid said. I like what he said. The Ranger is an enabler. He just makes everything just way too easy. Like, here, take this. Here, have this. Here, do you want this? Yeah. That's the main problem. That's
the Sealstone Oran Guru making it too easy. I mean, it'll still probably be a disgusting combo going forward, but everything else, I think it gets worse because there's going to be a lot more big basic decks.
And Sneasler's 20 makes a decent difference too in some situations.
Oh, large difference.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have the Petron here. What is it? What is the Petron?
It's 5
more.
Plus
Plus 5.
So the 50 is fine. The 50 is good. So I think you're not really donking too much with the 50. So
that turns into use like Iron Valiant and stuff, but that turns like that sounds like coke. Like I want it to work so bad, please.
That's too much. Yeah, with the Iron Valiant, that's going to be requiring too much to get. So that's
like I really want it to work. Please work, please. That's too hard. You're trying too hard.
The Sneasler is definitely going to be losing Force Sealstone, Oranguru, and Sneasler should pretty much kill that combo from being as overpowered.
And the deck itself, like DTE will be gone too, so
it takes a hit.
Right, exactly. That does hinder it a lot.
I don't know what deck would even want to play all those cards and not be able to do anything else anyways without a lot of other effort and setup. Like, you could see them in the Loyal 3 with Janine's, but like even then that's like really stretching it into like meme territory.
It might just become a full-blown like wall lock deck there with no attacking option. Like you just don't attack. Like Badu is your attacker.
Yeah. Badu poison shenanigans.
I guess you Badu poison, then you Monkey Dory it off, move just back and forth. Maybe I don't know. Who knows?
You maybe just increase your monkey count or something like that.
Yeah.
Throw in a bear so you have like a big finisher, I guess. But like that's probably it.
we have a local here, and Dre, you know what I'm talking about, who was on a cloth for like a year before it actually became like, pretty relevant, pretty good.
Yeah.
And once, it opened up with Terapagos, he just went full blown with it, won a couple cups. And now I think he's to the point where like, he's not sure what he's going to do in like a month and a half. When everything rotates, he's going to be like searching for a while.
Yeah. It's going to be tough. We all have that.
I'll be the same way. When I lose Dialga, Radiant Greninja, and a Pokestop from my Archaludon deck, I'll be searching. I won't know what to do.
Archaludon does get pretty bad after those cards leave too.
I won't say it's bad, but it's definitely not as good. That second turn is crazy. Taking a second turn is I feel like anytime you can do something in the game that breaks the rules, you have a pretty good card. Taking a second turn, taking extra prize, attaching extra energy, stuff like that like breaks or bends the rules, makes it a pretty good card.
Yeah, I think without the extra turn and without as much, I think it's also just gonna be really tough to get those. When you have things like Badu that are sticking around, it's gonna be really hard without the Pokestops, without the Greninja to get like your discard, grab
huge.
Finding your Archaludons. Like it's already tough to do now if you get Badude. So I think Archaludon might actually take a back seat after rotation too. Doesn't seem that great.
Trying to tell y'all, man, hops.
That's just
hops is in, and it's
more junk to put into it though. Like
it's not. There's a reason why it's not having results. I mean, the one thing I will give Western Pokemon players credit for is we do innovate pretty well. We do find stuff that Japan misses, or we just build things differently because Japan is playing in a different format. They're playing best of one. They're playing their decks to be in a best of one format. So, maybe some things, maybe we'll find some things that they overlooked or find counts or supporter lines, something that makes the decks a little bit better when we get the cards and can actually start to play them. But I mean, if even just the raw power of the cards, putting them together, the decks that the list I've seen look like they would be functioning lists, and it's not having any results. Like if it was that strong, if the cards were that strong, they would still be having decent results. If you can't even win city leagues with the hops deck, I feel like there's an issue there.
Mm-hmm. I think we're at a point now where like the just card design in general is just more powerful across the board, and if it's not like mind blowing upon first read, it's like, all right, cool, no one's gonna play this.
Right. I think we finally have hit the spot though. It looks like where Noctowl is going to take over.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the dominant engine going forward, which exciting because that's finally the cards that make the format to Bingo Bongo are going to be out of the way. It's going to require a little bit more skill intensive play, which I'm ready for.
Some sequencing, some thought process, some putting your combos together, trying to lay stuff together.
Exactly. So I think now that we have that, the moving in all those cards out is going to be pretty good. You don't see decks like Miraidon doing too well. Raging Bull's still doing decently well, but it's going to get farmed by like a lot of the wall decks and the single prize decks.
Hell, Raging Bull is playing. There's some Raging Bulls playing
Knockdown
nowadays too. So.
Yep, they are. So
yeah,
that's what I'm pretty excited
for.
One thing EUIC.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to just say one thing that I found interesting. I've been looking at is the Charizard deck with Terapagos and Noctowl. I think moving forward that could be really good.
Yeah, I think so. Well.
There's a lot of potential
to EUIC
to be dived into. Yeah, I mean, this format that we're talking about right now isn't going to happen for, month and a week and a half or whatever it is.
Yeah.
April 11th is the rotation day, but there's still what 2 majors, 3 majors left.
We have Vancouver.
There's an SPE, right? And then there's an EU one.
Yeah, I think I think those were the last majors we have. I'm not sure if we have. Is the SPE the European SPE?
I can't remember.
I don't think we have anymore. I think Vancouver is the only North American event left in this format.
Vancouver, there's something in Brazil. Looks like.
Yeah, that's right.
Stockholm.
Brazil's the SPE, and then good old
Brisbane, and then after that, it's rotation.
Yeah. So what do you think's going to happen from the results of EUIC leading into those? Just more of the same? Uptick in Cloth Terapagos, probably. People are going to misplay it.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryuki's on another level. I mean, let's be realistic. Ryuki's been tearing it up the last year. outside of Japan. So
yeah, Ryuki's insane. So like, to think about a deck
I
like
mean,
that, it takes a lot of skill to be able to chain. Like, you have to properly sequence a lot of those to make those combos. Like, those are probably when we were calculating the numbers, looking at it, like the odds of getting that combo down are probably only 30%. So, and he was getting it done probably at a really high percentage because he can sequence well, and his opponents don't know what to do, or their opponents are probably misplaying, which makes his win percentage even just skyrocket from there because he's just that good of a player.
I can imagine too, like being able to turn off their Fez thanks to poison and like knowing how much damage to do correctly.
That
is probably a massive thing. And then you take a knockout with poison, and then you go into your opponent's turn, and your opponent's like, oh, all right, cool, Fez. Oh, no, you can't. So like, I wonder how many times like prize penalties were given out to opponents for drawing cards off of Fez or whatever, and so on and so forth that way as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would probably put it past. I mean, I would maybe say, sure, he probably did get a couple in his run, but I think just much more so just the fact that people can't use their Fez, and they're just dead drawing, or they're not setting up because they can't use items either because they got Badooed. So like, just the combo and the smart math, knowing how to play, making sure that you're hitting the right numbers, probably led to a lot of those wins.
Yeah,
I think we've had a Cloth Tropicals player here locally for a while, and a couple other people. I was on it for a little bit too. And you're right, the power is to calculate, okay, if I hit for this much, if I put on the body much, okay, then I pass, he takes 30 poison. Okay, cool, we're good. And then to calculate all that, they get the KO between turns, they can't Fez. It's huge. And it takes some math to do. But I mean, Ryuki's been, like you said, on a tear, and he won before Dragon Ball was like really like good, like before his BDIF like it is right now. He won with Dragon Ball before that. He made me a Dragon Ball believer. Like, hey, this is the way to play, and I played it for a while too. So we talked about different innovators. Maybe
this guy,
not the innovator that some people think of. We think of like Sword Reckless and stuff like that. But maybe he's like just his sequencing is just second to none.
So funny.
When you say innovator, I think of Tord Reckless. No, don't you?
Yeah, no, that's not what we're laughing. So you go on these long tangents and you're cutting out, and so it's so funny. Because you're talking 100 miles a minute, and then you just shut up for like half a second, a full second,
and you're like, it's like some Jim Carrey stuff, dude.
So funny. No, but Ryuki definitely is. Ryuki's definitely the innovation with the Dragon Pulp before it became really dominant was really good. This deck I feel like wasn't too much innovation. I think it was just really well played. Ryuki's just a really strong player though.
Great player.
Going into these last few majors though, Dragon Pulse is just going to continue to be the best deck. I think it still continues to be the most played deck, and it should be. We saw if Natalie doesn't get donked, that matchup is actually really, really favored for Dragon Pulse. You just have to survive turn 0. Like, you just have to get more than one Dreepy down, and you win that matchup. Like, that matchup is insanely fair. I think I sat down. I got like 5th out of like 60 something players on like an online Mickey. I just like, hey, screw it, I'm gonna play. And I played like a slightly altered Pult list from my EUIC list. And I got 5th. And I played my first 3 rounds. I played like 2 of the Ryuki 60. And I started with, hilariously in both games, I started like a something I don't want to start, a non-optimal starter. Started Fez.
Ooh, yeah.
And it prevented me from getting turn 0 donged. Cool, set up, buddy pop in, all kinds of. I just won. Just win. And then the other one I started a little mini on. I can't get donged. I got set up, got all my Dreepies down, and I won. Like, handedly. So I think Dragapult should still and will still be the most played deck going into Vancouver and Brazil. Funnily enough, Miraidon did horrible because of Cloth is a bad matchup, Charlotte's a bad matchup, Dragapult is an unfavored matchup, and a lot of them are starting to play Klefki. I played Klefki, so it's like now those are getting unfavored. Those matchups are starting to become sketch. Goldango's a bad matchup. Going into these next majors, because Miraidon is kind of tanking and stonks are going down, I think Lugia is a sneaky pick going into these next majors. You have to build it correctly so you don't just get stomped out because Archaludon's still a bad matchup. You still have to be sketched because there still will be people that play Miraidon. Goldango can be a little scary still. If they just go too fast and you hiccup, they can blow up Lugia pretty easily. But Lugia has a really good Dragapult matchup. If you build it, I would personally play Rats in my build.
You gotta play Rats.
So you can beat the Archaludons.
That's the main
just
reason.
try and fly high. I mean, you might as well. You have one last chance. So I think Lugia players, Vancouver's probably your last go at it. And I think Vancouver is actually a pretty decent time to play Lugia. Probably, I'm not saying Lugia is like the best play for the major, but I think it's probably the best time to play before it rotates. I would not have played it to EUIC, but this tournament, Vancouver seems like it's in a decent spot to play.
Yeah, day one.
I think EUIC is going to turn down the Miraidon. The Miraidon loves. Miraidon comes down. I think there was only like 2 or 3 in the top 32. It wasn't a whole lot.
Yeah, I genuinely think that it's in a bad spot though.
Yeah, Lugia day 1 was 8.2%, and then it converted.
Yeah, and the fact it's in a bad spot, maybe that means Lugia could rise now.
And it converted to 5% flat for day 2.
Yeah, not great.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was just an abundance of Miraidon at EUIC. There was a ton of them. Yeah. But then the Miraidons got eaten alive by Archaludon. And Archaludon takes a favorable matchup into both Lugia and Miraidon, so it kept both of those. So, but I think you make that tweak if you want to play Lugia. Squeeze in the Rats. Hope to dodge the last remaining Miraidon stands that will show up with it. And I think you're probably in an okay spot to play Lugia one last time. I think Vancouver.
I call them Marauder Dyers. They Marauder or die. They don't give up.
Yeah, they really will. Yeah, they really will. I mean, I don't hate Raging Bolt either. I personally don't think it's that bad of a play. You have a favorable Dragapult matchup. If you use your single prizers correctly, if I were to play Raging Bolt, I'd play both the Koraidon and the Slitherwing to have more than multiple one prizers to attack with. And then that kind of helps your Miraidon matchup. And you can Oko Miraidon where they can't really Oko a Raging Bolt. If you set up your board to just be double bolt, attach pass, because you went first, they're not going to do anything. They can't blow you up turn 1. Unless they get like extremely lucky with like a Raichu and like all kinds of energies off generators. And they're only going to be able to do that once though. And then you just punish them after that.
Yeah, RNG has to be really on their side for that to let that happen.
Right. But yeah, Raging Bolt doesn't seem too bad of an option either going into Vancouver. I think it's a decent option. Probably like a tier B.
Okay.
I can agree with that. I can get down with that. I never thought that Raging Bolt was just like a terrible deck. I mean, there's some times where it's like just really not the meta for it or the tournament for it. But I never thought it was just like if someone said to play Raging Bolt, I'm like, there's worse things to play. Go ahead and take it. Why not?
I mean, sometimes as long as you get to play the game, it's all that matters. And Raging Bolt seems to get to play the game a lot more than most decks.
Yeah, it's harder to donk it. I mean, like, because the 230 is just, I guess, like the right sweet spot now.
Yeah, perfect.
230, but it's 240.
It's 230. Just in general, though, 230 though is like.
Oh yeah, in general,
is a much safer number across the board. 220 can be reached.
Miraidon hits 220,
and then 220 is also able to get hit by like Cloth too, real easy.
Actually, 240 is probably the sweet spot because Miraidon with Zapdos can hit 230, so 240 being 240 just makes it super super good.
I forget about Zapdos since it's on the way out, honestly.
Yeah,
poor guy.
That's another thing that's gonna. I mean, that's the reason why Miraidon probably takes a big hit. There's a lot of its attackers, the Raikou, the Raichu, the Zapdos,
Force Seal Stone.
Force Seal Stone. A lot of things that make it consistent are on its way out. So
Switch part, the ones that run it,
So I think as long as it's holding on to, we're gonna need some more electric attackers before it comes back as a real threat. But who knows? Maybe Iono Pokemon make their way into the Miraidon decks or something like that.
It's a possibility. I mean, we've already seen it with Bolt too. So. The belly bolt, raging belly, or whatever you want to call it. That's what it should. That's what it should be. Raging belly.
So crazy.
Oh man, I like that.
It's actually. It's called Iono Bolt. Gosh.
No, raging belly, dude.
Raging Belly is cool. That's pretty cool.
That's a much better name. So if those are, go ahead, Gazer. Go ahead.
I was just still looking at the top 4 from EUIC and trying to figure out what we'll see in Vancouver. You know, the last 4 majors we have coming up. Thoughts on Goldango and thoughts on Archaladon?
Goldango will probably spike because there's a lot of people that enjoy that deck, and a lot of people like playing. Like they loved it. It took a lot of people by surprise that Goldango showed up the way it did.
I think
with the top players playing it. But I mean, it really is in a good spot. Like it takes a good Dragapult matchup. I faced only one, and I got lucky. I beat it because game 1 I think I got rolled, and then game 2 I had a clef key lock, and they were just drawing with Goldango, and then they drew with Ninja like really quick. So I got a DPL because of that, because I just couldn't stop him. Bro was just drawing cards. I was like, yep, Goldango. Yes, I know Cluffy doesn't stop Goldango. Draw your cards. And he's like, Ninja drew 2. I was like, whoa, bro, can't do that, Cluffy. So that, and then I ended up having like a really insane play where I was able to, I just kept a single prize board and was popping Dusknors to take KOs. And then it got down to he took a prize card, so I was able to Fez, and I had Alakazam already down, and he thought that the Alakazam was per trainer in hand, and I was like, no, it was per card in your hand. Fez hit my Crispin loaded up my Alakazam, counter catchered up Fez, and Oko'd the Fez. I was actually one card short of not needing the counter catcher. He had like 12 cards in hand, so I hit 240.
Dang.
Yeah, one more card. I could have just KO'd the Goldango. It would have been so funny. But it's still pretty funny getting the Alakazam Crispin KO for the game. And then he goes second, game 3. I start Fez, and I have Ultra Ball attach, Ultra Ball for Dreepy, attach to Dreepy, pass. Then he flipped over a lone Gimme Ghoul, plays the Cypher Maniacs. Okay, so he has Ninja in hand, probably just gonna bench Ninja, draw the 2, get set up. So I Cypher Maniacing first. Cool. Does Cypher Maniac, pass. I'm like, oh, bro. Yeah. I have Bolt Arvin in hand. I just grabbed, and I don't even need Crystal. I get Skateboard, Candy Pull, and I just Jet Headbutt KO the
70.
Oh, there's been so many games at locals that like I'll win with Jet Headbutt.
Yeah,
like I was playing against Cerule Edge last month, and I had to make the game go to sudden death to be able to come back to win. And I went first, and he just like, all right, I guess blah blah blah. He set up his board, and I was like, all right, cool. I'll evolve into Dracloak and Crispin. And he's like, okay, because that's game, dude. It's one knockout. We're in sudden death. Oh.
It's so funny. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the babies being attackers is so underappreciated. Like, yeah, because he does 70 damage. Like the cloak does 70 damage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2 for 70.
That's
so
pretty
funny. Yeah, but I think Goldango definitely goes up in play because a lot of people believe in it. Has a good Dango matchup. Has a good Archaladon matchup. Pretty like, and then a lot of other matchups is pretty close to 50-50. And apparently, according to Bradner's group, their list is favored into Guardy. I'm not sure how true that is, so y'all have to go tap in with their Metafy stuff and see what sauce they're spilling in their Metafy stuff. I'm not playing Goldango, so I have no interest in finding out if that's true or not.
I think the difference is, I can't say most, but I think a lot of decks are now taking in some type of luminous energy or dark energy and a Monkey Dory.
Yeah, Monkey's and I think everything.
Yes, and everything. I think people are just saying Monkey Dory gives me more of a favorable matchup in stuff like Gardevoir, stuff like Dragapult, things like that. And that could be true, but I don't know. I still can't sit here and say Goldango is completely favored in the Gardevoir. I got to see what Bradner cooked up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I can fully hop on that and just like blindly check it and be like, yep, they said it, so it must be true. But it's like,
checks out, gotta be true.
I mean, it's believable. I just don't know how it's.
It probably has something to do with Monkey Dory. The monkey is going in everything now. Monkey and dark, monkey and luminous. Everybody's just
but Guardy has 3. Guardy has 3. You have 3 monkeys.
Some Guardies are running 3. You're not wrong.
I just don't see how they don't just like go into Flutter Mane, spread damage, monkey, and then Devo take out all 3. Kill 3 Gimme Ghouls at once. And I own you on top of that. You know,
Yeah.
that's I played plenty of Guardy, you know, so I could see the lines of play from the Guardy
We know.
side. I don't play Goldango, so I can't really
Show me
tell you
results with
how.
Guardy though, but we know.
Yeah, dude, Guardy's fickle deck.
No, Goldango is I feel like Goldango is a decent deck. It's just my favorite Goldango if I played it would be like late game Badu.
Yeah,
If you get Badu late game, like what do you do after that? That's my favorite Goldango. And late game Iona. If you get Iona late game, because you need so many pieces to get those big knockouts and make stuff work. You get Iona late game, you might be in danger too. So that's my favorite Goldango. But thoughts on Archaladon? That was another top 4 deck played by Simone.
I think
I watched a lot of that match.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I watched that. Okay, I watched a lot of that match because I'm an Archaladon player. I like Archaladon, and I was trying to see how that deck worked out and the way he played it. And they had a lot of, in my opinion, a lot of it's about a 5-card difference in my deck, but the 5 cards were like so drastically game changing. Luminion, Squawkabilly, things like that. I mean, overall, Archaladon, do you guys think it sees more play in these F4 tournaments or what?
We didn't hear anything after
no.
Luminion.
Squawka. And then you caught back up there.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't. So going into EUIC, I knew Archaladon was going to be pretty decently played. One of my I only played one, and I lost to that playing Dragapult. But it went to a game 3, and in the game 3, I definitely misplayed. I knew the mapping that I should take. I actually got like the really insane turn 2 double candy, double Dusknoir. So I was able to pop a Dusknoir on a Duraludon, take a KO. But for some reason, I was just in autopilot mode and didn't remember that I needed to pop that second Dusknoir on the active Archaladon and take a KO there. I took another. I took another Duraludon on the bench and then swung into the arch, forgetting that they played the black belt. So I was in full auto, and so that cost me the set because if I take that 3-prize swing, they only took 1 prize the previous turn, so I have a 3-2 trade there. And then in my list, I also played Briar, so I have a really cool thing where if I set up like 60 on the Relicanth, they go down to 2 prizes. I can counter catch her up the Ninja and take a 3-prize turn that way. And they ended up playing Luminion on the bench during our set too, so I actually probably would have had a Gust Luminion 3-prize turn without Briar kill if I would have just popped that Dusknoir the correct way. So I misplayed against that one. I think most people that play Dragapult are probably going to be really well versed in the Archaladon matchup, and I think it's pretty winnable. I mean, Natalie showed us. I mean, there's different ways you can win because the deck does have to like dump and draw a lot. It doesn't have like a really good engine. It's just researching and hoping it doesn't lose too many resources. So I think that's a big hindrance of the deck is that it's just dumping and hoping doesn't have to dump too many resources, and if it does, you can get punished. So I think Archaladon probably stays in it where it's at. It's probably still the top 5, top 6 deck. I think it still stays in its like 5th most played spot where it was for EUIC. I don't think it spikes too much because the deck itself doesn't have like any kind of like amazing leg up on the competition other than it keeps Miraidon in place. And with Miraidon probably dipping in play, it's gonna lose one of its best matchups. Could see Guardy going up in play because all of the decks that kept it down did pretty bad and should theoretically go down in play. So Guardy probably goes up, and that's always bad for Archaladon too.
Any sleeper picks? Like underrated, should be played more in this remaining month and a half?
Do we see Snorlax stall pick up the numbers?
Stall it's not in a great spot. Like those stall that made top 8, I wish we still had like Pokestats, whatever that site was, where you could see what they played against. Because I would bet that they hit like the lottery of like Miraidons and like Goldengos and stuff like that. Because if you saw Natalie put on the clinic on how you beat Stall with Dragapult, it's like
I didn't think Natalie had a chance.
They hit opening flute Fish Fez did not matter.
I was like,
that matchup is so unfavored for the last player.
what it was for Natalie, it was just patience. Like a lesser player probably would have, did something too soon, popped something too soon. But I think it's just the patience of
And
okay,
that's
when I use my dust call, when I use my dust snore, when do I boss? It's just having to be patient, and it's tough to be that patient against a stall deck.
it definitely is, but it's like as long as, but that also comes with just having the reps. If you have reps with Dragapult going against Lax going into the major, it's a free matchup.
Mhm.
It's super free. So I think Lax is not a great spot. Especially you also just flat out lose to Archaludon. You're not beating it. So I think, and then Lugia is probably gonna creep back up and play, and they're not teched for Lugia anymore. It's not kind of not worth the tech because even when you tech, you're just teching to be 50-50, and that feels bad too when you're super teched out for a matchup just to be, close. So I think Lax they'll probably be 1 or 2 in the top 16, but I don't think any make the top 8 this time. Going into Vancouver, I don't think Stall. I think a sleeper pick probably is Raging Bolt though. I think Raging Bolt has actually been put on the back burner long enough that people have stopped, respecting it, and I think that as long as you have the Crispin, because Badoo's going down in play as well. The Guardians aren't really playing it. Against like the cloth deck, you're not really too worried about it either. You'll just they're all like really low HP Pokemon. You can get where you need to get with Crispin and a couple teal masks. You know, so I think that Raging Bolt's probably a sleeper pick that might have a decent run if it can hit the right things.
Okay. Good.
So both
good calls.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem with that.
I think Bolt can definitely pop its head back up, no problem. Just like the power ceiling on it, it's just like I don't think it has like crazy awful matchups, but not really. It's like it's at least decent into most things. So
with how full the format is right now too, if you can go fast and you can just run your opponent over, you're probably gonna win a decent amount of games.
Right on.
And you have a good matchup into the BDIF. So
yeah, it's so good into Dragapult. I hate it. Makes me think like you have to 5 or 6 price turn it.
You have to take a 4-5. You have to take a 4. I know you have to for a fact. You have to take a 4 price turn at some point. I know that for a fact.
I in Puerto Rico, I won like when I started my 4-0 run, like I hit a Raging Bolt like round 2 or 3, and it was a really close set. Like I literally, because they went so hard with the Squawk on the opening turn and discarded 2 energy retrievals, I literally won because their last turn they were short of Okoing my Dragapult by 1 energy.
Ooh, yeah.
And they drew so many cards, but they were out of energy and they were out of energy recursion. So they literally whiffed it, and then they flipped tails on their Pokemon catcher. Because they had enough energy in play to KO like my Fez, but they flipped tails and ended up losing the game because I won the next turn. So that matchup is super sketch.
It's sketchy. I won't say it's like like almost unwinnable, but it's sketchy. I played
It's not unwinnable, but it's definitely unfavored.
Whoa, yeah, and people say, oh, "Okay, this is a bad matchup." Like it's not bad, but it's not like you said. It's not favored. I can pull off a 4 price turn and be right there with you, but the fact that you can just draw and get that big KO, it is sketchy.
Yeah, I'd give Bolt like a 60-40 into Dragapult.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
All right. Out of EUIC, out of the format, we have a couple quick little card reveals that came out since our last episode.
We did.
And we'll have these hopefully pop up on screen, but I'm just going to read them off. And we have Arvin's Mabostiff EX, 270 HP Pokemon EX Dark type, 2 attacks for 1 colorless. The first one is Hustle Tackle for 30 plus damage. If it has no damage counters on it, this attack does 120 more, so effectively 150 if it's clean. And for 3 colorless, Boss's Headbutt, 210 damage. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't use Boss's Headbutt. Nothing crazy. Arvin also got a Squavit and a Greedent.
A sandwich.
Well, we'll get to this. We'll get to the sandwich. The Greedent has an ability, Greedy Order. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve, you get to search for 2 Arvin sandwiches from your discard pile and put them back into your hand. So Greedent being greedy, grabbing the sandwiches. And Arvin sandwich, heal 30 from your active Pokemon. If it's an Arven's Pokemon, heal 100 damage instead.
Okay.
So effectively, the whole loop of the Arven archetype is to wall out and hit for 150 for one colorless every turn. And you've got the sandwiches, and you have the gradient to recur the sandwiches.
Yeah, and you build up to a 210 swing with the boss diff. Okay, I don't hate that. I mean, is that it? Is that all we got?
That's it for Arven's. That's it for Arven's.
That's all we have for Arven for right now. But I hate it so far. We need a couple more things. But
that's the thing that's felt so underwhelming. It feels like I think they want to include too many trainers, so they're not doing enough for them.
Yeah,
we're not getting
any more Ends Pokemon. It doesn't look. I don't think we're getting any more Ends Pokemon. I don't think we're getting any more Ionos Pokemon. I think they're just like, oh, here's those cards. Next ones.
If anything, maybe like the third set or like the specialty set or whatever, maybe you'll get one more Ends. Maybe you'll get one more Lilies or whatever.
That's what I was gonna say. Because I mean, I look at I forget what set it was, but we had a festival lead Pokemon come out just out the blue. So I mean, every so often they'll just randomly, hey, here's something. I think it might be in a special set, like you said.
Yeah, but hopefully there is. There's nothing. All these have been so underwhelming.
Well, if you look at the set that's coming out, was it Rival Destinies or Destined Rivals? There we go. That one is coming out. Isn't there like 5 trainers?
That's what the Arven cards are from. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be 5 trainers.
And we have 2 more Ethan's cards to talk about too. We talked about Ethan's stuff last week. Ethan's Pincer.
Marnie, Steven, Arven, and I'm missing somebody. Oh, Cynthia.
Cynthia, right.
Mm-hmm.
It's 5 trainers.
And potentially Team Rocket / Giovanni or whatever they're on the pack arts. So
forgot about that. Yes.
I feel like these are just going to be like spread really thin, or some of these Pokemon are going to find their way into maybe another archetype. Maybe is like a tech piece, like Dre said earlier, that you see some of the dub wolves in the post row arches, but they're just not doing it.
It looks like Ethan probably got like the best depth of Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm looking at this set list now. You got Ethan's Pincer. You got the Typhlosion line. You got the Magcargo line. You got the Ho-Oh. Misty's cards look whack, so that's unfortunate.
I'm definitely going Ethan when that comes out. Was it May? Probably April, May. I'm definitely going Ethan. But no, stupid. We have Ethan's Pincer now, right?
Yeah, nothing too crazy in this one. Basic grass type, 120 HP. We have for 1 grass, Vice Grip for 20 damage, and then for 3 colorless, 1 point return, 70 plus. If any of your Ethan's Pokemon were knocked out by an attack from your opponent's last turn, it does 100 more damage. So 170 for 3 colorless on a basic. Cool, but like, where are you getting the 3 colorless energy from?
Right.
Did you forget about Ethan's Ho-Oh?
Ho-Oh attaches to fire Pokemon.
Yep, only fire Pokemon.
So I didn't forget about it. Yeah.
No.
Bench Ethan's Pokemon. It's just bench Ethan's
Pokemon. Bench Ethan's. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, Ethan's Pokemon.
It's still man. It's still a Mac card.
I knock out Squawkabilly. I knock out Charizard. I knock out Cynthia's Garchomp. I knock out Roaring Moon. Come on. It's a single prize that can swing for 170.
All right, but you need 3 energy.
You also have to have that in hand while you're probably getting actively disrupted and stuff like that. Like Ho-Oh doesn't search the energy out.
Did you not look at Ethan's Adventure?
Yeah, but then why did you say Squawkabilly? Because Squawkabilly would need to be in the active, so you'd have to boss that up.
Do you not know what counter catcher is?
So you're telling me after their turn, you're gonna have Ho-Oh on the bench, you're gonna have the Pincer, you're gonna have the 3 energy and the counter catcher every time?
This is why Gazer has been known to play bad decks, because he thinks he's going to hit these combos and he doesn't hit those combos. But when he does hit the combo once in 100 times, he thinks he's the most goated player ever.
Oh boy, what I'm in for the time of my life. We have the Sudowoodo with 2 attacks.
That's pretty cool. The Sudowoodo is pretty cool.
The first one is Impound for 20. Defending Pokemon can't retreat. Those attacks are always useful to an extent. The fact that it needs a fighting energy, though, kind of blocks it out of the Ethan's archetype and maybe makes it like a tech elsewhere. And then the other attack for 2 colorless, attempt Mimicry, flip a coin if heads, choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. So on a coin flip, maybe something cool. But
the coin flip ruins it, but it seemed pretty cool.
Yeah, if you didn't need the coin flip, I think that would be 100% an inclusion in the Ho shenanigans.
Of course.
I think Cynthia's cards are probably the best ones in this set, though.
Yeah, that's what we talked about last week. We like them very much.
Yeah.
You missed one though.
The Cynthia stuff?
You missed one. Maridon's getting some help.
Well, I mean, I was gonna do the trainer stuff in order and then talk about.
No. Maridon's getting some help. We talked about Maridon going to struggle after rotation. No, Maridon's going to be just fine. It's getting Zero Aura.
The Zero Aura has 2 attacks, scratch for 20 damage for a colorless. Big help for Maridon there. And for 3 lightning, Thunder Blitz, discard all energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 210 to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon EX.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
you can only hit an EX. What bench EX are you gonna hit for 210 damage? An Ogerpon that you can't hit on the bench?
Yeah.
An Ogerpon that has bench area?
Fez, but like
there's squawkability. There's Fezendicity.
You're putting 3 energy that you're gonna have
to
discard.
EX.
You're putting 3 energy that you're gonna have to discard on this Zero Aura.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna accumulate those 3 energies without having to pop a Magneton, which is gonna cause your opponent to take a prize card, which is probably gonna put you in a game losing position. Or you're gonna try to load this up slowly, and it's just gonna get gusted. Or you're gonna waste your generators.
Pal,
your opponent's gonna
one generator, one attachment. We're good to go.
Your opponent's gonna let you attack with this thing, and then Gust KO whatever other Pokemon still has energy on it, and you have no energy on board, and they're gonna Iono you. They're gonna counter catcher, Iono you. That's not too hard of a combo for most decks to have.
It's not at all.
Counter catcher, Iono. Your deck sucks.
I'm being facetious, man. Zero is not that great.
No, it's bad.
It's not good. It's so bad.
And I'm gonna opt to skip all 4 of the Ogerpons because they're all kind of just
please
mid.
Do. Yes, please do.
We'll jump over to the Rapidash, stage 1, obviously.
It just revealed today.
Yeah, it just revealed today with an illustration rare as well, with the ability Hurried Gate. During your turn, you may draw a card. I don't know.
Sick.
If it was like tasting from Slurpuff, or if it was in the active, you could draw 2 instead, maybe. But
yeah,
I don't see why I'd want to put a stage 1 on my deck just to draw a card.
Yeah.
Like if I want to do that, I would just play Dodrio and have zooming draw, and then be able to attack for damage for whatever. And like the Rapidash has an attack for a fire and a colorless does 60. So
that's it. Yeah, its attack is so bad. Yeah,
that's it for new stuff in terms of cards. There were a few product reveals, some tins with some crappy X's, the super premium collection for Prismatic that's going to get scalped and botted.
Oh my god.
It's got a fuzzy Eevee deck box and a really nice playmat and sleeves and a 15 packs of Prismatic, but it's just going to get scalped. It's going to get.
I can't wait to fight a 10-year-old and shove an old lady out of the way to get one, so I can sit on it and sell it for like $500.
I don't know what 10-year-old's going to get. You're going to be fighting like 40-year-olds at Target with their butts hanging out of their jeans.
So funny, so insane, dude.
Give me that Eevee.
And then I hope they just print. I just hope they overprint it and it sits like how the Charizard premium boxes just sat. I hope they do that. They should.
No, that's not happening.
It probably won't happen.
I think they will. They were kind of like actively. Pokemon doesn't like losing money to scalpers. That's a lot of things that a lot of people don't understand. Pokemon sees the stuff going on with the scalping. They're like, okay, well, like, why am I gonna let you guys make money off of our stuff by reselling it? If I just print more, it'll sell out. I'm gonna make more money. Pokemon does that. They did that with the Charizard premium collection. They're despite their shortcomings on stuff like TCG Live and stuff like that, they are a pretty smart company when it comes to making sure they make money.
It's a matter of time.
With the Charizard premium collection, they overprinted that thing to hell because of there was a shortage on stuff. It wasn't. I don't think we had a scalper problem like we had now, but people were buying product and they're like, oh, there's demand for it. Here's a lot of Charizard boxes, and they sat for a while, and people had to put them on discount for like $60,
We did
$70.
have a scalping problem when they did that. That's why the scalping problem got stomped out for a while. That's why we had such like a peaceful era of non-scalping for solid
Yeah, but
while.
it's not like how it is now.
because
I can't even call that a scalping era. It's more so like people are buying, people are collecting, people are trying to sell. But like right now, people are like buying and selling at like almost 2.5 the price, just way too high.
people just need
I
to
think
stop
it's
buying.
just way worse.
People just need to stop buying. That's the thing.
Yeah, if they
That's
stop
true.
buying secondary and just bought first party at a good price, then call it a day.
That's true.
But the
If you
FOMO,
can't get it, just
kicks
pass on it,
in,
man.
and then all the common folk will be like, oh, but if I can't have it, then someone else will get it, and if they get it, then I can't have it, so I have to go buy it. And so it's never going to stop. And this ties into this next product release, and this one's kind of a shocker. They're making these new level 2 play decks called rival battle decks, and they're focused around Marnie and Steven. But the clincher is that the illustration rare Morpeko and Beldum that are promo numbered, they're in the decks.
Yeah.
So a product that would have been accessible for players to pick up, even at like starting levels, for some, theme decks, basically. I guess a step up from theme decks or the EX battle decks. But the fact that they're putting illustration rares in them means that the people who will go crazy over everything else are going to buy these just for these illustration rares. And that this is also problematic too.
I think because it's a promo.
That can be. I think of how many times I go to a card shop.
Yeah, the promos being them being promo stamped, it just makes them less worth. I think they're just worth less when they have the promo stamp. It's pretty accessible. They print so many of those battle decks that they're just gonna sit. They're still gonna sit.
You think so? I don't know.
People aren't clamoring to play Stevens or Marnie. They're not. The decks aren't really that good.
No, and normally decks sit, except for say Gardevoir, Charizard decks at launch.
Right.
The Dragapult deck, when that comes out, that'll sell a little bit too.
Yeah, definitely. But they're not gonna sell out. And I think this would be the most hilarious bait that Pokemon ever did, is them putting those, and then all these scalpers buy all of them, and nobody wants to buy them. That's going to be hilarious if they do that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with this one, but this one's a toss-up. This is either going to be stupid or it's going to be a flop.
Yeah, I think the cards aren't going to be worth that much, and the scalpers will try to go buy them out, and nobody's going to buy them, or there's going to be plenty of them that people don't care. And they're going to lose money on those. I can see that, and I'm hoping that happens.
And for anyone who wants to see the full content list of what's in these decks, it's all on PokeBeach. You can go see the scans and see all the Pokemon included, the trainers, and so on and so forth.
I mean, they're good. They're good introductory decks. They're level 2, so they're not like the EX decks that came with one Chinpow or one Miraidon, anything like that. So it's a little bit better, but it's nothing to write home about.
Dark types themselves are not that great though. They're not going to be like A tier decks. That's why the Charizard, Gardevoir, and the Dragapult ones are so good, because those are all S and A tier decks. Marnie and Stevens are going to be B, C tier decks. So nobody's going to be clamoring to buy them. There'll be a decent deck for people to get in with. It's not going to be like a theme deck, but they're not going to sell out because people are just not going to be clamoring. It's going to be the people that are that are Marnie fans. The Marnie ones probably will sell out because it's Marnie. I'll give you all that. I don't think the Steven ones are going to sell out.
Yeah, it's hard to say what's going to ultimately happen, but it's a cool concept, but not for us, but
yeah,
it's definitely for someone. We'll just see if those someones can enjoy it versus it attempting to be scalped.
Right.
But that's it for new stuff. So now we can wrap things up here shortly. Gazer, any closing thoughts? Anything you want to talk about? And you want to? I guess I need to. I'm sorry. I tried to bamboozle you.
I wasn't gonna fall for it. I just want to speak on. I went back and counted my cup entries and my conversion rate. I converted my cups at about a 43% conversion rate, which isn't terrible. About half the cups I play in, I convert and get top cut. So that should say something, right? right?
No.
No. I'm undefeated at cups in the last 3 years.
How many have you played in?
0. No,
Yeah,
I
I'm
lied.
pretty sure.
It's not lost.
I played in 1, and I think I got 9th, and my wife top 8'd or whatever.
I'm
But
pretty sure my
You bubbled
conversion
out?
rate- I'm sure my conversion rate in cups I've played into top cuts is like in the 80%. There's like, there's no, there's been. Come on now, how many times have I showed up to a cup and I've made top cut?
All I'm saying is half the cups I
Really-
play in, about half the cups I play in, I top cut. About half. So I mean,
I think about half of them I win. I think half of the ones
This-
I've gone to
oh
I've
my
won.
gosh.
like I've converted to top 8 at least 80% and like 50% win rate.
dude, if I
Well,
didn't
have you
have
won
to,
two
if I
this
didn't
season?
have
'Cause
to
I have.
drive an hour and a half each way, I would play more. Like I would.
That's fair.
Like
That's fair.
I work.
Instead
I
of
work
running
at,
them at your store, just playing them.
well, who's gonna run it?
Yeah, if he doesn't run it, who's gonna run it? Come on, guy.
Who's
Yeah.
who's the tournament organizer, Gazer Beam?
Yes, smart guy. Where's all your answers now?
You got it. You got to pass a TO test and come.
I failed it again.
Sanction my cup 2.5 months in advance,
I
and
failed it
then
twice.
show back. Yeah,
failed it
yeah.
again.
Shut up.
I keep failing it. I can't
No,
pass.
so I some guy from like not some guy, but like a friend came with his son to play at League last night, and they were bitching about like how awful Pittsburgh is now, because like Sports Car Junction, the store that like hosted the guys that ran the podcast there,
Oh, yeah.
that
Sports
they're
Car
not
Junction
doing
boys.
anything there now, and all the other Pittsburgh stores are
no.
just shitting the bed, and they're like poorly organized and everything. And he's like, I'm gonna drive all the way out here to come play at your store because you know what you're doing.
Jeez, that's rough for
And
Pittsburgh.
then I was like, and then someone else was giving me a hard time about like taking too long to get match slips out because I was helping a customer with whatever else. And then I was like, okay, go play somewhere else. Oh, wait a minute. Everywhere else sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds like stupid.
Mm-hmm.
that's so funny.
You said that, didn't you? Yeah, that's
Oh
you.
yeah, I did. I said it. I said it
Oh
out loud.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's goated. Let's go. Put them in their place.
Ask any of my locals that will go and play elsewhere, that like excluding, I guess, like within the region, excluding like Full Grip and like Rose Poke. Every other store
Right.
sucks.
Yeah, dude, I want to go to Full Grip so bad. I just have
Get
no
on stream.
I have no reason to go to Ohio.
So okay, my league is on Tuesdays. Full Grip is on Wednesdays. They're 45 minutes apart.
Okay, I'm gonna take a trip to Ohio just to play at your locals and Full Grip.
Yeah, let's go.
That might be worth, honestly.
It might be actually. It would be pretty decent content I could probably make with Steuben, and then going over to Full Grip. Probably some good content.
I'll bring the
Oh, yeah.
overhead and set it up for you.
Yeah. All right. I'll make my way to Ohio eventually. I mean, it's a lot easier now that I'm on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm. There's a train that you can take from Florida to Chicago, and it stops in Cleveland. So
Yeah, I'm probably not taking a train. I'll fly.
I mean, that'd be fun, dude. Hit every stop along the way. Stop in Virginia, like stop in North Carolina.
It's all trees, and I'm not a big foresty guy.
Oh man, but
I'll fly.
all right. Offers on
He's
the
a city
table.
boy.
Anybody who wants to come play it in my league out there who listens, come do it. You're more than welcome to.
Now you know the train where it goes.
Yeah. Well, the train doesn't come near the card shop, but and no, I won't pick anyone up from the airport. Maybe you two, sure, but I'm not going to the Cleveland airport to pick anybody up. That's way out of my way. I'm not going to the Pittsburgh one either. But that's it. That's all I've got. Gazer, anything else that you want to say?
No, I didn't get a chance to talk about my Cubs win, but it's fine.
You don't need to. You've been humbled.
Fine.
Bro, you got to go to your local shop, and you played Arch Aladon, and everybody's playing Dragapult, so you took a bunch of favorable matchups and you won. Congratulations, bro. You didn't have somebody like me that actually knows how to beat the matchup. So you just farmed a bunch of people that didn't know. Bro, I see the people that the list of names being posted. I'm like, who are these people? None of these people were there when I was there playing. So like all the guys that were helping me gatekeep you, are they even playing anymore? Are they even trying anymore?
They're still there, man. They're still there. We still
I
have
don't
Joe.
see their names
You know,
up there. I don't
we
see
have
their names
Jose.
that often.
they're
Like,
still there.
I feel like they're not showing up. I feel like I don't even see their names half the
Oh
time.
my god.
They're there. It's just I'm up here, and right now they're down here right now.
I see they're just like it's messed up. As soon as it's because I was there. I was the driving force. Everybody wanted to beat me so bad that they were on their A game.
You were
As
the
soon
glue.
as soon as I move away, everyone's like, "Oh, we don't gotta try so hard at locals anymore." You know,
You are anchor being, bro. You're the anchor being in this universe.
that's what I'm saying. You guys are starting to dissipate.
It's got.
Oh my god.
No, I did want to talk about the cup though. It was fun, man. I didn't think I was gonna win that one. I went in expecting the top, but like I almost missed a deck submission. I thought it was at a certain time. It was like, oh no, Gazer, it's 10 minutes before that. I'm like, well, I'm up the street. If you wait, fine. If not, then fine. I got there like a minute before, turned the deck list in. Somebody made a joke like, Gazer, I'll DQ you. I'm like, I don't care, brother. Just I was like on my like nonchalant stuff that day. And I played pretty well. I lost into a Gardevoir, which is now Gardevoir is a terrible matchup for Archaladon. I lost to Gardevoir. It's a really bad matchup. Managed to get top 8. I played Zard's terrible too. I played Zard Pope, which is terrible, but I 2-0'd it somehow. Then I hit another Gardevoir, and the guy just dead drew. It was one of my buddies out there from Bakersfield. His name is Daniel, and I've beaten him like 11 times in a row. And that's not even joking, 11 times in a row. Yeah. And he talks about how I have plot armor against him. I'm like, no, man, you got me today. So you're playing a good matchup into my deck. And he went teleportation burst, attach pass. It was so bad for him. And I beat him, and I ended up hitting the mirror. And the mirror is ugly for Archaladon. And the guy, like, he dead drew. He didn't draw well. And literally, for the second game, every card I needed, I drew into. He hit me with Archaladon. I'm like, well, man, so I got to find my Relicanth. No, I mean, it looked like it. It looked like it.
Boss's orders.
I was like,
oh nice. I'll play Boss's orders.
Whoa.
All right, what's the...
I needed this.
Yeah, that sleeve with the crumpled corner. How did I knew I was drawn to the ball?
That same one that he played already out of the discard pile somehow got back on top of the deck.
Right.
And he draws his turn. Oh hey, Boss's orders.
I needed this. He hit me with Archaladon. With that mirror, if you hit into Archaladon, you want to use your Relicanth to copy the attack, knock him out, use Raging Hammer. So he hit into me because he had nothing going. And I was already like 3 prizes ahead. I did like a Dialga turn, took out his 2 Duraludons. He finally got one and hit into me. He's just like, F it. I'll just hit into you 220. I'm like, man. And I said, you might be all right. I got to find myself a Relicanth or something. I top deck Nest Ball. So, Relicanth knockout. And then he gets me in a good spot again. He's like, okay, go ahead and win the game. So I can't win the game, man. I need my other Archaladon. They're both in the discard pile. The other one's prize. I need my last Night Stretcher. Draw for turn. Night Stretcher. And it's just everything just lined up in that tournament for me to win that one. It was just crazy. I probably shouldn't have won that one. But I've been enjoying Archaladon a lot, man. And I gotta say, and just now not trolling. Playing against you, Dre, and a lot of our other locals around here have made me a better player. And, it has sharpened my skills. And, actually playing a deck that's, somewhat meta. So it's, I was playing a bad version of Charizard for a while. And I played it so well that I did well with it. But it wasn't meta. But playing something somewhat meta and playing against you guys and learning different matchups and grinding has made me a better player. So I'm not a pro player. I'm not that. I'm not even a streamer anymore. I'm just some guy on a podcast with Steuben.
This is the Steuben podcast now. You've heard it from Gazer. I'm taking control of everything now.
Steuben and some guy. Just call it Steuben and some guy.
Steuben and some guy.
Steuben's Yap Fest. Well, before we end Steuben's Yap Fest, Dre, any shout outs, plugs, sponsors, you know what to do.
Of course. So thank you guys, of course. It's been a while, Gazer. Miss you, buddy. All jokes aside, really do miss you, man. I do miss the free wins. Steuben, I appreciate you. Shout out to the Shuffle Squad, my sponsor, Ultimate Guard, Kayfabe cards, all that good stuff. Shout out to my fiance keeping us held down over here in Florida while I'm taking these like 3-week trips. I mean, she got to go to Puerto Rico with me, but travel. Yep. Oh yeah. See, there you go. There's the plug.
I have so much Ultimate Guard stuff.
I got my Hive. And then I got all the deck boxes, the red deck boxes that go in the boulders, and they stack up in there so beautifully, so perfect. And then I just got refilled on all my katanas, so I have like 3 cases in the closet.
Oh, flipping tray.
FCBC.
Funny enough,
another Synergy Sidewinder.
Yone got like sponsored by FCBC, and they sent her like a whole case, and like we.
Another
Well,
hive.
I'm not. I personally they didn't pass my
Ultimate guard
shuffle.
binders.
So
Yeah, man.
my stress test, they didn't pass my stress test. She went to a
Ultimate
major,
guard.
and and they the dog she. I'm not sure if it's like the way she shuffles, but they seem to dog ear a lot easier than the katanas do. So for her shuffling style, they weren't really good for her, and for me, I like a really well hydrated sleeve, and they seem to be a little bit more dry, and so
They're a little
not a
bit more
big
dry.
fan.
They are.
They're pretty durable from what I've seen. So I don't want to slam the competition, but I'm a big katana believer. I've had like every tournament because I've been starting 4-0, 5-0, getting deck checked, and I've passed every deck check with my katanas. So. But anyways, finishing up the shout outs. Shout out to Shuffle Squad, all the sponsors, Beyonce, my testing group, Nick Moffat, Cal Connor, Josh Frank, the Gamilla brothers, all those guys. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Also, Ultimate Guard. Come on. You've given me stuff before. Let's do it again.
Yeah,
No.
FCP.
Come on, yeah. Steuben deserves it. Come on, Ultimate Guard.
I will shill Ultimate Guard all day long. Like, I have a pack that I was given to use of FCBC, and I haven't had the chance to sleeve up a new deck yet. So, Journey Together, I'll sleeve it up and I'll do a review. But I still love my katanas. I'll buy
You'll
them.
fall in love.
I'll buy the same color.
And Dre, if you and Yone don't want those packs, man, don't want those sleeves, send them here.
Yeah, I'll shoot you a DM. They're not going to be free, but I'll shoot you a DM.
Summer Cloud, my favorite color.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I got the reds and the yellows. They're pretty reliable for the katanas.
No blues though.
Nah, never blues. Can't do the blues. I'll play green. I'll play yellow, red, but no blues, unfortunately for me.
All right. Well, with that, we're out of here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, wherever you find your podcast, leave a review, like it, favorite it, come back for more. Hit us up on all the socials. Links as always for everything, and all of Dre's stuff will be in the descriptions and the show notes. So that's it. Much love. Gust out.